So which one are you, the clean type or the grungy type? We're coming into hard times, especially all of you who are in the United States. I know that you're going to be heading into recession soon, so it's always nice to be able to get a freebie. This video, I've got a freebie printable, which is this leaf design on a document envelope. It's like a graphite pencil style drawing, and really you can make this up in so many different ways. I've got a few examples here for you, and I'm going to very quickly show you how you can make it as well. So here it is, just made up with no ink on it whatsoever, and it's on plain white copy paper. So you can just go ahead, print it out, cut it and glue it up, and just use paper, discs, and either use a brad to secure your discs or an eyelet. So it doesn't matter, whatever you've got. And if you haven't got any of those, I've got other ideas for you as well. So that is it. It is so easy to make with your ordinary everyday copy paper. And this one here, it's the white, but I've distress inked it, and I've distress inked it heavily on the front so you can see the difference, and very lightly on the back. And this time I've just put a piece of washi tape for the closure, and depending on your washi tape as to whether you've got a really sticky one, that just comes off easy so that you can get out whatever you put in the envelope, or just leave it permanently once you've put it in your journal. Then this one here is printed on a coloured copy paper. So it's a light grey green colour. So I've distress inked that in black. And instead of using washi tape or the button closures, I've just put a piece of washi tape in a shape of a stamp, and I've put that on there for the closure. And I've also done this one in the creamy vanilla colour as well. This one here I printed out on a piece of ledger paper, and I cut the ledger paper down just to be the same size as my A4 piece of paper. Once I cut that down, I took note of which end had come out of the printer, and then I put that piece of ledger paper back into my printer and printed it out. And then I can either use the printed side with the ledger paper showing on it, or I can turn it inside out and just use the ledger paper. I've used decorative brads. These are Stampin' Up! Brads, and they are pretty good for closures as well. Add some sticky notes or glue on some of your favourite labels. These are Tracy Fox labels, and you can do that front and back. And that looks fantastic as this document envelope as well. I've got a few extra designs that I've made for our members only, and that is the leaf design but in a sepia colour. And I've also made one that's a vintage flower. Now my members only is a little bit like a Patreon group. So my members only group get a lot of this sort of stuff on a regular basis. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link below. So that's it in the plain white copy paper with the paper discs on it. That is it printed on the cream vanilla paper, and I've decorated it with some book page and some stickers, and I've done the same on the front. This is one where I've added a pre-made wax seal. I've just glued it on the top part of the flap, and I've put repositionable glue on the back side of it. So they're prepared wax seals. I get this glue here, which is the Tombow Multi Glue. It's a liquid glue. I put that on the back here. I leave it overnight to dry, and then once that's dry, I can put it on the top here and let it overhang, and the weight of it keeps that flap down, and it'll just give a very light seal there. So that looks good in the cream, that one there. And there it is, just plain, and just using a washi tape to seal it at the top. And that's pretty heavily distress inked. Here it is all grunged up on the edges, and I've just made a little swing tag, and I've used some tissue paper that's been coloured by my good crafty friend Deb, who lives just down the road. Deb made these for me as well. Here it is in the plain with no distress ink at all on the edges, and that is in the plain copy paper in the grey-green colour. So if you think, oh, I don't have any distress ink, and I don't have any brads, and I don't have any eyelets, it doesn't really matter. Just print it out on a piece of plain paper that you can pick up from the dollar store and just washi tape it in. It looks pretty good in your book. That will sit there, it won't come out. And here it is in the smaller size. This is the sepia leaf print, the members only print, and it's in 75%. And I've made the closure from a button. I just cut the shank off the back here, and then I glued that in place. This part here is just a paper clip that one of my other crafty friends has sent me in the Happy Mail. I just put a piece of thread, just hook that on that bottom loop there. When that sits over the front, it just gives me that nice decorative bit there, and I just loop it around. So that is a pretty easy closure to make. So get inventive, pull out all your stuff that you've got and figure out ways that you can make closures. Like these are decorative brads. They look great. So either a button, a brad, a paper disc, or a piece of washi, or a wax seal will work for your closure. Alright, so let me show you how easy these are to make up. First step, once you've downloaded your free template, you've got to print it out. Then cut it out. You can distress the edges now or after you glue it up if you want to. It really doesn't matter. Now this is my technique for folding over the small flaps here. Put your ruler on the top and the bottom line straight down the edge, and using a scraper, I'm using my scan and cut scraper, slide it under the paper, and using the edge of your ruler, press and slide the scraper up and down until it makes a crease. Then fold it over and crease with your fingers. Open it back up, then turn your envelope around. Get the front and bring the corner edges to the fold line, just so it doesn't touch the fold line. Then crease this edge with your fingers. Turn it around again and refold the side flaps. Now use your ruler again and crease the bottom flap. And then do the same on the top flap here. I always leave a little bit of room on the top here so that when you put things in it, it will fold over pretty easily. If you're adding paper discs on your envelope, do it now. There's two little dots marked here, one on the front center and one at the top on the flap. Now glue the side flap closed, and because they've been pre-folded, this is pretty easy to do. Now glue the bottom bit up last, and that's pretty much it. If you want more grunge, you can distress ink the edges some more now. This is a pretty good size envelope. Now remember, there's no closure on this, so I'm gonna use a piece of washi tape to hold the flap down. Now remember, this one I've kept clean and I've just used the disc closure, and this one is the grungy one with the washi tape. So which one are you? The clean or the grungy? Honestly, there are so many variations you can do with this printable. I know you're gonna love it. If you want more envelope ideas, check out this video here, and thanks for tuning in and happy crafting. Ciao for now.